I can't understand how any of this can happen in the United States, in a courtroom in the United States. Fortunately, I do know two people who know a lot about Louisiana law, and this case in particular. Chris Nakamoto is an anchor and chief investigative reporter for WBRZ-TV. He broke this story and did an incredible job doing it. Jarrett Ambeau is a criminal defense attorney and an expert in forensic DNA and family law in Louisiana, and he knows this case backwards and forward. So, Chris, I'll start with you. Wow, what a development. Do you suspect that this is the media sunlight all of a sudden putting the thumbs and the screws to the authorities who may have let this slide for the better part of a decade?
I think it's a huge, stunning admission today to have the sheriff announce that they dropped the ball. It's one thing to admit a mistake, but that mistake had extraordinary consequences. If this had just been dealt with 7 years ago, would this custody issue even be an issue? And now we're seeing last January, the guidance counselor notifying the State Department of Children and Family Services, alleging that she was told by this child that the child was being abused by Barnes. And then now we know that in these sealed documents that were unsealed, that in February of this year, we're seeing that she was brought to Children's Hospital in New Orleans, where they evaluated this girl, and doctors confirmed that there was, evidence congruent with a sexual assault. This is why these documents were sealed, because they did not want the public to have access to them. They didn't want the public to see it. And now that it's open, we now see why decisions were made the way they were made, and exactly what the judge did not want us to see.
Right. And I definitely want to see some of that evidence from the hospital, because that to me should have been you would have heard the rush of the doors opening in the hospital with Child Protective Services coming in and police coming in to file a police report based on that. That's what happens when a young woman, or even a not so young woman, is evaluated with a claim of sexual assault in the hospital, and those kinds of things are found. There's also a rape kit done, and now no one's talking about where the rape kit is. The police won't say where the rape kit is. So, Jarrett, you know the law and you know that state. I nearly lost my breath when I heard that Krista had asserted in court on the record that she had been raped by the man who was trying to get custody. She had said it to the judge. It was not a mystery to the judge. He had heard it and chose not to believe it because he said he didn't like the context in which it was brought up. Is there any circumstance anywhere in any court of law where the context of a child rape being claimed in court is just dispensed with and is not adjudicated at all?
Well, it's in the case of a false allegation for sure, but the truth of it is that it's Krista's attorney's responsibility to instruct the court. The court can't figure it out on its own, and so her attorney should have, at that point, presented the birth certificate of the child, the birth certificate of Miss Krista, and shown specifically and clearly that she had the child when she was 16, and of course, then that means that the man who had sex with her committed a felony carnal knowledge of a juvenile or a felony statutory.
Do you know what, though, Jarrett? Do you know what? I am not a judge. I could never imagine how difficult the job is. But if I saw a 32-year-old woman in my court with a 16-year-old daughter, I'd smell a rat. I would right away wonder what's happening here. I'm in a custody case with these two. You should know intimately what the circumstances are involving these people in front of your courtroom. You're about to do something that's in the best interest of the child. So how on earth could this judge not have heard her say it? She said the words, "I was raped by this man when I was 16. He heard her say it. Listen, I could just, I need a drink. All right, so the other question I have for you, Chris, is this notion that we've discovered that the sheriff in the case has a very influential brother, and that's Governor John Bell Edwards. He's not answering our questions. He's not answering our phone. He's not answering our email. And this was over 8 hours and 21 minutes and 38 seconds ago that we reached out to his office. Are you having the same issues trying to get a response?
It's very unusual because the governor's office is always very responsive to requests from our experience. We reached out to the governor's office yesterday to just ask them some questions. The Department of Children and Family Services, which was notified by that guidance counselor about the situation, is actually the state agency that is overseeing these child support payments that Krista is making to her perpetrator. So we asked DCFS yesterday whether or not they had any sort of issue overseeing child support payments to a perpetrator, especially knowing that what we broke on Monday, the fact that this child was born from a rape. And they basically said, our job is to enforce a court order, but we are dismayed by what's happening. So then we took it a step further and asked the governor whether or not he could possibly do anything and what his response to that story was. We did not hear back from him, which is highly out of character.
Well, you and me both, my friend. Maybe when, this starts getting viral and these television segments make their way to the governor's office, the communications director should be telling him about it. Maybe we'll get a response. Jarrett Ambeau, you're a good man and you're a smart man, and I understand that you wanted to say something to Krista. I asked our producers to get her back on the line and pop her up on the screen if we can. Krista, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, Jarrett Ambeau, who's the lawyer that we were just talking with, wants to talk to you about something. Go ahead, Jarrett.
And so I want to be clear that I can't, guarantee an outcome here, but it seems pretty clear in the law that this is a math problem, as Ms. Banfield has said over and over again. And I believe that there's absolutely no way that this man should have custody of your child even for another minute. And so if you are willing and you are interested, you can contact my law firm. We'll take your case pro bono. I'll fight this from now until the Louisiana Supreme Court if I have to. And we are formidable law firm. And so this entire tenor of this entire matter will change when I show up, I assure you. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you're more than welcome to contact my law firm, and we will step in and look, act as co-counsel if that's what's necessary, but take over the case if that's what you'd like.
And Krista, I want to add here, when I started covering the law, I didn't know what pro bono meant. I know what it means now. It means free, so you don't have to pay. So that offer is being made to you.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. Thank you.
Well, we'll put the two of you together, Jarrett. That's an incredibly magnanimous thing to do for Krista, and thank you, not only for being on tonight, but then for that incredible offer as well. And I suggest that you could have some remarkable success in this case just from the face of looking at this case. Krista Abelseth, Stacey Trish, Chris Nakamoto, and Jarrett Ambeau, thank you, all four of you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.